Terra, ain't too many people I trust. We not NASA, but this chopper gon' sweep you up, sweep you up. I be Terra, ain't too many people I trust. Don't make my mood switch. Busy outside with this shit. Lil' bro, I catch in my body. He just want blue strips. Don't make my mood switch. I got a full clip. Put this work in your backpack. I'ma see you on the trip.
Hey guys, so we made it. We're here in Barstow. We got Morgan here.
Yeah.
We got Keith here. We have Darren here. We got all our friends over here. What's up, guys?
Hey, how's it going?
We got the MCD1 team over there. We got the media team. Anyways, guys, today's a good day. Getting the truck ready to go, to move. Keith's gonna kind of tell you the process that he has with Morgan and how him and Morgan have worked together to get the shocks prepared for this day. Because it's a process. There's things we had to do, things we had to do to the truck. It's not just like, hey, just show up and turn tubes. It gets pretty scientific, dude. So let's hear from these gentlemen because they know what they're talking about. Not me so much. Let's see.
Do you want me to start or do you want to start?
Whatever you want.
I've been doing this with Keith for a while.
Yeah.
One of the, just on my end of this stuff, Keith I've known for years. I think we kind of worked at same places and met each other, and then just throughout our process with the cars, I make it a non-negotiable to tune the cars. I think something that people are more aware of now that it didn't used to be as aware, you know, the general audience is the tuning part. You can build this whole thing and you can put this whole recipe together, you know, with the track width and the wheelbase and travel numbers and all that, and unless the shocks are specifically tuned for what you're preparing for them, you lose out on, you know, probably 50% of your handling.
Oh yeah. I mean, if you just put off-the-shelf shocks on it, it's not going to perform and think, you know, people say like, oh, it works great, but it's like, yeah, cool, it might work, but it's not like it can work as good as it should for what it's built for. Or even comfortable, like as a pre-runner too. You can have the truck set up to be comfy and work well at pre-runner pace, but also you can pick up the pace and really push the truck to its limit if you wanted to and still have it perform like it should. The geometry plays a big role. The weight percentages play a big role. I'm a big fan of figuring that out and making changes to make it better. Sometimes we're not able to get it perfect, but we just have to do things a little different to make it accommodate the truck and what, you know, the weight bias is, and figure out the valving to correlate with the spring rates. But Morgan and I have been working on this project for 2 years on going back and forth on chalk stuff and changing this, changing that. And then finally, when it got pretty close, we were able to really nail it down and figure out the spring rates, because along the way the truck wasn't like completely finished, you know, at some stages. So it was like, all right, let's just throw a spring package on it and see where we land and kind of go from there. And then along the way it was like, all right, we added this weight, we did this, we changed that.
I think that it's the same whether it's a builder working with Keith or someone that just wants to bring a car to Keith, because Keith has his own shop where he can just facilitate a tune. But it's the same. I think you have to get to the same stage, which is essentially,
no matter what, it's the same process.
It is, because it's this, you know, early on, Keith can be full service, where if you have a build and you're like, hey, I need to order shocks, where do I put these tubes? Where's the optimal thing? That's like probably your premium level of valving, where you're like, hey, where should I put the bypass tubes? Where I should put rebound compression? Also, is it gonna fit in my kit that I've developed or acquired or something? The next step is getting it to where the car is complete, where you can put fluid in it, because he's going to want it not only to corner scale it and weigh it, but also to weigh it with fluids in it to know, because, you know, putting 30 to 70 or 100 gallons back is going to make a huge ballast difference.
Yeah, it needs to be as close as finished as possible.
Totally.
Like as if it's going to the dirt.
And that's the thing. So Keith has a sheet that's, you know, proprietary to his own setup. Again, it works both ways, right? You bring a car to Keith, he does it. You're building a car, you scale it, he comes to you, whatever, you know, the process is the same.
Send it to Morgan and how we work together. I'll send it to him and they fill it out. They'll corner scale it and then just bring me the shocks. And
comprehensive list. It's not something where you're like, no, it weighs 6,400 pounds. Cool. No, it's like a lot of numbers, and it's a jack it up or forklift it. To my understanding,
full droop, ride height, bump, all the measurements there. So that way, when we have all that info, the more accurate it is, the more accurate I'll be. There's a number off, or someone missed something, then it throws my numbers off, and then we find out the hard way later. Then we have to change
the hard way is
spring.
pulling the shit.
Yeah, pull it off again. All right, we got to change that spring. We got to change this valving.
Or the super hard way is rebuilding something or readjusting something.
When you're out in the dirt, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Like, we'll get out here and we won't find that out until we're here, you know. Sometimes, like, Morgan, you know, when he puts the shocks back on, or somebody puts the shocks back on, I'll have him fill out that spring sheet again, so I can just verify everything and see where we're at with the new spring package and make sure we're accurate, so there's no discrepancy when we hit the dirt.
You're the professional, but to my understanding, what you want to do is the bypass tubes that you see, all the adjustment tubes on the secondary shock, are specific to detail adjustments, to finish adjustments. So what Keith is doing is he's putting everything in the internals that's like a tailored suit for the car. And then it's literally just kind of hemming things and getting things proper in the dirt, if best case scenario.
It's not a generic tune for every vehicle. We're tailoring the tune to that vehicle and the driver style and what they're doing with the car. It doesn't matter if it's a UTV, a bicycle, a quad, a trophy truck. We follow the same procedure, and that's our standard operating procedure because I know it works. I don't divert from that. That's why we're able to get the truck 90, 95% tuned out of the shop. And that way we're spending time just fine-tune adjustments out here rather than spending half the day pulling shocks off. It's a custom tailored setup for the vehicle. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna just take the truck out, we're gonna do a couple passes, we're gonna go find some lines and put some heat in the shocks, get our baseline, and then throughout the day we're just gonna be making adjustments for, you know, ride height and spring adjustments and tube adjustments to keep improving on it, fix anything that is wrong with it to really maximize the setup. Hopefully none of the shocks have to come off, but there's always that case, and if we do, then, you know, we just pull the shocks off and revalve them in the trailer.
My guess is that he's going to say we have a spring that we need to swap in the rear. And that's just my guess.
That's probably accurate. That's probably accurate. But yeah, I mean, we'll see where we land today and go from there. We don't always nail it on the first day. Sometimes it takes multiple test sessions, you know, it just is what it is, especially with a one-off vehicle.
It's not a chassis that's a
race cars
chassis that you know.
Race cars are easy.
Plug in the numbers.
Plug in the numbers, they go, and then it's fine-tune adjustments from there, one shim, that shim. I love projects like this because then it really gets my brain working. But I think this thing's gonna work pretty good today. I'm confident in that, so we'll see.
You know, you should get in with Keith for the preliminary, and then you're going to get a baseline, and then you're probably going to be like, that's pretty good, right? Like, works good. And then we'll go through and get more refinements, because then he's going to know right off the bat.
Dude. No, everything was just like, he's like, oh, this is great. This is way better than I expected with the weight bias. And oh, this is really good. Like, this is, and I'm just like, I don't even know. It blew my mind. It blew my mind. I really did. And I don't know any other words to say. I should have sent a poet.
Gay!
It didn't feel real, man. After my 8th oh my god in a row,
Yeah.
I was like, I really was speechless. I really didn't know what to say. I couldn't believe that the truck was going, like, you know, the first time you've ever ridden in a long travel truck or like a truck with suspension,
Yeah.
and you see the ground and you're like, oh my god, like, oh shoot, like, and that's how I'd always describe it to people being in a long travel truck. That was my first ride in a long travel truck right now. That's what it truly felt like.
Yeah.
Like an official first time.
Yeah.
And so when he was driving, I'm like, okay, I was scared when Morgan drove really quick, and then I drove and I felt the confidence behind the wheel. And then so when you're driving, it was scary when we went through some scary stuff.
Yeah.
We crossed over some lines a little bit. We went into like a gnarly section that comes out to the right here that seemed kind of tall and tight.
Yeah.
And it's just like, and the truck just like stayed so leveled.
Yeah, it's planted.
I can't believe it. Like
You got quiet. You were quiet when I was like, hey dude, we're good. We're here. Like, we're having fun.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, you were just absorbing everything.
I saw it come up, man, and then it looked questionably not that good. I'm like, oh man. And then Darren's like, probably just need to go faster.
Yeah, I was just being conservative, going slow.
Yeah. And then you
Just
came down, and I'm
cruising.
like, oh, okay.
And that's when I picked it up coming down, because I was like, we're good. We're not out to left field. Like, we're in the ballpark.
Yep.
Even then when we were going up, Keith was like, oh, this is good. This is good. Like, this is great. And he knows what he's doing with that. But
sure.
like, to me, in the inside, it still felt incredibly smooth. Not for 1 second going up was I concerned. It's just that your eyeballs are, and your body's telling you to stop. Like, slow down and don't do this, because it looks so scary.
You see what you're going through?
Exactly.
Yeah.
You see what you're going through, and your mind and your body is like wants a bail. You know.
Especially right now, it's deep right now, super square. I had anxiety getting in. I was like, okay, where are we going to land right now? Like, is this going to be good? Is it going to go bad? And when Morgan said, like, might need to cut some socket to take the shocks off, I was like, oh god, okay, well,
Okay.
But just initial going down the access road, it's not super rough, but I get a good feel for that, and that's when I was like, yeah, dude, no, we're in the ballpark, we're good.
Okay.
We just need to tweak on a couple things, but we have our good baseline right now.
We did it! We did it!
Gonna make a couple small
We
tweaks,
did it!
some spring adjustment in the rear, some tweaks. We'll really be able to get it to work well.
I can't imagine it doing any better.
I was anticipating, with the rear weight bias where it's at, like it wanting to kind of nose over and push the rear, but it's pretty planted right now. So it's only going to get better.
Where do you think, if you could say percentage-wise, if you were chasing 100, where would you land right now, and what do you think the improvement would land you? I know that's a bold thing, but
Ooh, that's a loaded question.
yeah, I mean, it's okay if we have to go a couple times, but where do you think it's at right now? 60%?
Probably 70%.
70%? Gotcha.
There's probably 30% left on the table if we really wanted to really, spend the time to dial it in.
Yep.
The three basics that I always stick to with like a pre-runner is it comfy? Does it handle good? Does it bottom out? Does it bottom out, and is it predictable? And we're checking all three of those right now for our starting point, and it's just improving on all three of those. So we're about 70% on all of that.
Badass.
So there's nothing that's like standing out to me where it's like, that's an issue. We need to address it now, pull all the shocks off. So I think with some tweaks, we'll be able to get at least another 20% out of it today.
Thank you for doing this with us.
Yeah,
seriously.
my pleasure.
I'm glad you're on
grateful
board
for
with
the
us.
opportunity.
Yep.
I'm stoked on this.
I thought you were.
Have that.
That's why we do the process, because it's like, it saves so much time in the long run with pulling shocks and doing everything. People think it's all wizardry and it's a gimmick. Is it worth it? And it's like, ask somebody that's experienced it.
There's a tier where there's a guy with a spreadsheet that makes you do this stuff with corner scales and take hours of time to get measurements. And there's a tier that goes, let's just bring it out, man. I put some stuff in there that seems like it'll work good. And
Just take a guess.
the bottom line is it is a physics and mechanical, measurements.
It's an
and
evaluation, and
It's papers.
Yeah.
It works. It's numbers.
math, and how much like time and money it takes to get to this point. Why not spend a little bit more and finish it and do it right
To the full capability.
and enjoy the vehicle? In my mind, it's common sense, but
Yeah.
What's your next step?
let's. I want to pull a couple measurements off the rear, make a spring adjustment, make a tube adjustment, and go for another pass.
Somebody said it's more than fitness than I'm sex. With my weapon, I'm up with my pumping is a jax. I bring it to a damn bam. Understand it if you're anyone. When I be coming, thought
That was unreal. I have nothing else to say. I think like coming down and like when I was like, all right, yeah, we're eating this, and like I'm like, and then here comes Darren like, yeah, and I look to my right really quick and I just see him like shoot, and like and Morgan's like, hey, it's gonna get better, like the ride's gonna get better, and like it was in that one moment I felt like, okay,
your heart's going.
Like I made it. Yeah. Like I made it. We're here. Like this is actual real life now.
Yeah.
And like that was I finally out of all of this, it felt like emotion. Like emotion, like gratitude. You know, what's this coming out of my eyeball, bro?
What's the salty discharge?
What the? All right, guys. So where are we at?
Shock-wise, we're moving forward. We're making forward progress. Just did a bunch of small minor adjustments externally, nothing internally yet. I have my window that I like to stick between with preload and spring rates, and we've gone beyond that, so we do need to do a rear spring change to get it to the next level and keep making progress. So that'll be our next step, and come back out, continue moving forward. But overall, the truck worked really well. So we started out at like a 70% to the finish, to where it's like perfect, and after the adjustments today, without doing the springs, we're probably at like an 85%. When we calculated out the spring rates prior, the truck wasn't exactly finished yet. So went out of that window, and now it's just part of the process. We just put, different spring rates on it and come out again.
It went way faster than I anticipated. We're not pushing a ton of power, so for the car to move like that through there, that's awesome. Yeah.
Handling characteristics of it felt really good. It feels really nimble. It's easy to drive.
Yeah.
Doesn't do anything weird. So solid build.
Right on.
I think we're in a good spot. You got little gremlins. I don't think there's, for me, it's not mechanical failures, and that's what I was talking about too. They're not critical errors, foundational failures. Like we go in and Keith goes, dude, I don't know, the thing's weird. It's handling weird.
Yeah.
We've done the most we can. We need to add a bunch of weight in the back, or all this stuff, and it's not something where we have to just accept that something sucks.
Yeah.
I feel like we're building towards. I feel like we're like tuning towards perfection of this thing.
There's no such thing as perfect.
I mean, like as close as we can get, right?
Optimization.
Yeah. Optimal.
There you go.
It's a good word right there. Optimal. And driving it today was phenomenal. I felt like the faster I would go, the more control I had.
Yeah.
And where I did slow down and kind of mess up a little bit, the truck recovered and was stable, and that was a beautiful thing, man. I really thought that was really cool, so I'm super grateful for that. Thank you guys for all your hard work and getting us out here. And the truck, dude, I mean, wow, it blew my mind, dude. I definitely had some really great moments, some core off-road memories with our friends out here. So wonderful things. And it was cool, like Keith and I were talking about the truck, and a long time ago they would like watch this truck in some old videos, like the Dirt Alliance videos, and it's crazy to see it like full circle out here back with you guys, you know? So good stuff. I can't wait to see what's next for this thing. Like Morgan said, this is part of the process. Standard gremlins come out, and we're gonna, there we go. Standard gremlins come out of this thing, and we're gonna move through those things, get the truck dialed, and keep on ripping.
Yeah.
Anything else, guys?
Sounds good. I think that's it.
All right, later, guys.
Later.